Hello everyone, it's NLawson with CDC Take Charge Software, and this is Lesson 5 on having fun with graphics and alpha software. Well, as you may notice, if you look over here to the upper left of the screen, the desktop widget that we created in our last session has now officially become the front end to my software. I think it's great. The clock works perfectly. The attached menu system, drop-down menu system is excellent. The buttons for the calendar link to my personal activities. It gives me notifications whenever an activity has come up and needs follow-up. Everything that you could want. So I'm very pleased with it. Now for today's lesson, as I was putting together the elements for the design program, I thought that a more practical application would be to create a graphing or chart program. Uh, if you go to help in Alpha Software and search on charts or graphs, what you'll see is a fairly complicated example of how to do graphing in Alpha Software. And it says right at the very top, you must have Microsoft Office installed for it to work, because it basically sets up an OLE and uses some API calls to take and transfer back and forth between Microsoft Office and Alpha Software, displaying the various graphs. I'm going to show you a simple way to do it just using text objects and a form and a table that's stored within Alpha Software. So let's go down here and bring up my interactive bar graph. Okay, the elements that you see on the screen are a y-axis with sales ranging from 0 to 40,000, an x-axis which has nothing on it right now, a record list box object which has months of the year, and sales per month. And below that we have a text box which displays a summary of this information. Now, if I want to take and see my graph, I click my button that says Graph Analysis. Pops up a next dialog box which gives me the choice of full year, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. So let's look at the first quarter, obviously. There it is. So now it says January is roughly $23,000 in sales, February is $21,445, and March is $23,785. Down here, under our text box showing the analysis, it says our graph sales range is a total of 68,772. Our sales average is 22,924 compared to our year sales average of 26. First quarter is not very strong. Our graph percent for the year is 21.32% of the total year. Now, if I select one of the months, notice that the bar gets a drop shadow and pops up, giving it a 3D effect. This is just so that you can see there are several design elements that you can do to make your graph more attractive. It can be just a straight bar graph that goes across. It could be a stacked bar graph. It could be a 3D graph. It could be a line graph. The only one that you would have trouble doing or would be very complicated to do would be a pie chart. But we could do that as well. Now, if I want to see a different month, I simply select my graph analysis again, and let's look at the fourth quarter. Okay, now my bars move over here. Now notice the first quarter was set here, pretty static, and then second and third and fourth is over here. I could have set it so that the appropriate quarter would show up. It would display a text label saying what quarter was being shown, and then display the summary totals down here. I chose to do it this way because I'm going to do a little automation here in just a minute, which is kind of cool. Alright, so now, same thing, come down here. If I select the months that are in the quarter range, they get the 3D pop-up effect. Our sales for that range is 88,344. Our graph average is 29,340 or 448, and our percent for the year is 27.39. If I want to see the entire year, I simply just take and select full year. Now, since these are year-to-date totals, If I was using this and I'm progressing through a current year, the year to date would be up here and not the full year, and you'd be able to see your quarter against your year to date totals. Pretty cool. Um, Now the elements that make this work are, again, as I said, very simple. You have the text objects, which represent the bars for the months. You have text objects for the range value grid, and these are set on half-inch marks, and each inch on your table by grid in Alpha software is set to tenths. So that makes it very easy to do the math. Down here are text labels showing the months. Um, and I use an array that steps through the list box object and displays it. So if I change the order of the array or the order of the text box, it would automatically put the months in the appropriate column. So for example, this is displayed by month of the year. If it was set alphabetically, April would be first. That would be April, then August, blah, blah, blah. Um, and it would switch automatically. So you could have a button that would take and rearrange your graph um, and display those results instantly on a screen. Um, the button code, like I said, it pops up an X dialog box that I created, which is a simple list of radio choices. And down here is a text object that's built on the code page based on summary totals of our external table. Now, as I said, I wanted to take and do a little automation. We can't forget that you can animate objects in Alpha software, so let's let it go. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, notice they're changing over here, fourth quarter, full year. And they keep adjusting automatically. A very simple process. If I want to stop it, I hit my other hotspot, which turns off my trigger, and then I'm back to where I can display it any way I want. There you have it. Okay, folks, so we are not going to take and show you all the code that makes this happen. And the reason for that is I want to take and see how well you people are catching on to this automation of graphics. So take and see if you can create the same process. What you're going to need is text objects for each graph element, an array with a set uh, 1 to number of records on a step of 1. The number of records will be the records in your external table. A record list boxed object, which is this. An X dialog box for the user to interact with. You'll need to use the evaluate function like we showed in the previous lesson, so if you're not sure, you can reread that lesson. And finally, you will need to set variables to control the property values for height and top of your text elements, which are your months. That's it, folks. Have fun working with this exercise, and have a great day. Send me an email at nlawson@cdc-takecharge.com, and I will let you know how your option works. And feel free to change it up and make more interesting stuff. Send me examples. That would be great. Thanks a lot, and have a great day.